Before we dive in, a quick heads up. This episode was recorded when the condition we're discussing was still widely known as PCOS, or polycystic ovary syndrome. Since recording, there's been an official name change to PMOS, or polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome. Throughout the episode, you'll hear us say PCOS over and over again. Just know we are talking about PMOS. It's the same thing. Okay, let's get into the episode. Can you light the Palo Santo? Welcome back to Chérie, It's a Process, where we talk about life as it actually is.
Zenfully chaotic and very much a work in progress.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Anais.
And I'm Mercedes. Welcome back.
Phew, we got through that.
What are we starting off with today?
We are,
This is a first, by the way. We're both in Vienna this time.
Yeah.
We've never recorded together in Vienna.
Yeah, if you guys go on Instagram, you might get a sneak peek of her pink and green apartment.
Yeah.
So go check us out on Instagram. Chérie, It's a Process.
Nice little, I like it. All right, should we just go straight into pocket magic?
Yeah. I mean, do you have anything to share? Why am I in Vienna?
Well, we were celebrating my birthday, as you all know from last episode.
Not last episode, a couple episodes ago, but we're pre-recording this.
I don't even know. I can't keep up anymore.
You're not on this. Anyway, sorry. I'm here celebrating her birthday this past weekend. It was fun.
It was so fun. I think it was the best birthday I ever had. Like, hands down. I mean, Disneyland was pretty epic at 22. True. That was a pretty great birthday. Yeah. But 26, that was a great time. You know
what the common denominator is?
No. You.
Yeah, I was there.
True. You were there for both.
Exactly.
It worked. All right.
Okay, should we go into the pocket magic?
Yeah, let's do it.
Pocket magic.
This week, we have two pocket magics that are episode topic related. Do you want to do the first one or shall I do the first one?
You start us off.
I start us off. Okay, so as some of you might have guessed, this week's topic is about periods, specifically my experience with periods. And I have, as you'll find out later on, quick spoiler, I have really, really bad period pain. And for the last, I think, 2.5 years, I've been using a period pain relief device that basically painkillers stopped working for me, and then I found this, and it uses TENS technology in combination with...
What technology?
TENS.
TENS. Am I asking too much?
It's like TENS. I mean, we can quickly Google TENS.
TENS technology, there it is. Do you want me to read that out?
Okay, so TENS technology is... That is a really long word. You're going to have to read it.
Okay. Transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation is what TENS stands for. And it is... TENS is a non-invasive, drug-free technology using low-voltage electrical currents delivered via skin electrodes to manage acute and chronic pain.
Yes.
So it works by stimulating nerves to block pain signals to the brain and triggering endorphin release. Oh, fascinating.
Yeah, so
okay.
It's a kind of butterfly / pad shape with sticky technology that you stick on the areaway of pain. So for me, it's my stomach and my back, and I kind of alternate. And then you have a little button that you can choose how strong you want the pain, the kind of electrodes, and some of them are also with heat technology. So I usually actually mix a hot water bottle and the device, and I stick it onto my stomach, and then you can choose the pain and the intensity. Exactly, you can choose the intensity, and then it kind of blocks the pain receptors to your brain.
Does it work?
For me, it does. I really do feel when it then stops, because it goes in like 15 to 20 minute cycles, my one. I think each one is obviously a bit different, and there's lots of them out there. There's one called My UV, which I think is quite good, but if you Google
10 technology
yeah, or period pain relief, no drugs, it will definitely come up, and there's lots of them you can choose. What about you? You also have one?
Yes. Really quickly to the one that you're using. You're not mentioning the name because it doesn't exist anymore, right?
So
you
the
looked it
one
up.
I don't know if mine is just a French wide, but I don't even think so, because everything. But the one I've been using, it doesn't.
Can't find it online anymore.
Yeah, I looked. I can't find it anymore online.
Okay, I just wanted to clear that up. My thing is period underwear. I use period underwear. I love it. I mean, I don't always use it all the time because sometimes I'm out and about and like my flow is a little heavy, especially the first 2 days. And then I don't always trust it. So I will switch over to pads. I hate tampons. I will never stick anything up there. It's the worst thing for me. So I stick to pads and period underwear, but I really, really enjoy it. I use the female company, but there's many out there.
Yeah, there's also Sisters Republic. Again, lots of different types. And
there's some French-based ones, German-based ones. I don't know if there's an Austrian one yet. But I really love them. And I think it's really comfortable. And even like the days before, days after, I will use some that are like less pad. Like there's a strengths in them and stuff. And they're more padded and less padded. And I really enjoy it. Especially because they're high-waisted and keeps everything nice and snug and warm. Which is comfy.
Sorry, guys, by the way. You're welcome. Sometimes something to learn. Always important.
That's true. This is one maybe more for the girlies, but hey, if you have girlfriends, if you have sisters, if you have a mother, which most likely you have at least one of those three, it's important to know these things.
Yeah. Also a great present sometimes, because they're very expensive.
Period underwear can be expensive.
Yeah, maybe not for like a friend, but
for a girlfriend.
For a girlfriend or a sister, or can be a good present if that's something they are interested in.
True.
I hope these two options are interesting for you, and if you want some more information, there's lots out there, and we can also put some links in the show notes.
Anais struggles telling stories or reading out loud because of her dyslexia. Therefore, I've decided to tell her story for her. I will talk in first person. Just know that it's not my story. It is her story. I'm just telling it for her. I got my period at 14. I was one of the last girls in my year to get it. I remember begging and praying to get it. Oh, how I would regret that in the years to come. The first couple years I had a flow of about 7 days with cramps for about 2 to 3 days. Pretty normal. But the older I got, the more severe the pain became. I remember one time at boarding school, I just came down to breakfast. A friend of mine was standing by the reception. I fell into her arms, sobbing in pain. It felt like I was being hacked in half by a blunt hack. She couldn't hold me up, so we pretty much fell to the ground. I was crying in her arms. It hurts, not being able to fully explain why or what. Meanwhile, students and teachers gathered around asking what the hell was going on, as I was not usually one to show emotions like that. But my cramps were just overpowering everything that day. When I hit my 20s, the pain only got worse. Instead of 3 days of intermittent pain, I had 1 day of severe pain that started above my knees and moved all the way up to my chest. I could throw up multiple times and would usually be bedridden on that day. I would have a hot water bottle glued to my tummy and pop one painkiller after another, hoping they would finally start working. They never did. At 23, when we were living in Paris, I finally went to see a doctor. They made me do a blood test and a pelvic ultrasound. The diagnosis was PCOS, now known as PMOS. I remember feeling weird and unsure of how I could have PMOS. I don't fit the classical symptoms. All I did feel was disgusted by the way my ovaries looked on the scan, full of holes, also known as cysts. I was given 2 options: either go on the pill and stop my periods. The logic was if I don't have a period, I don't have pain. Or use a painkiller, which was a mix of paracetamol, caffeine, and morphine. I have always feared that the pill would make me put on weight, and I know it's not the case for everyone, but with a history of body dysmorphia, it wasn't a risk I was willing to take. So I chose option 2, the painkillers, which sadly stopped working after about 3 months because my body got so used to them it stopped reacting. I was back at square one. During the first 24 hours of my bleed, I was back to throwing up 2 to 3 times, bedridden, curled up in pain, and unable to move. Finally, I decided to try something alternative. My mum had been telling me about it for years, but I had been too stubborn to try it until now. I went gluten-free, at least for 4 days before the start of my period. And the pain actually became manageable. It was still there, but I wasn't throwing up anymore. I was able to go to work, and I was just able to function. Now it's been about 2 years, and as helpful as it's been, it has also been challenging to time it correctly as my period isn't very regular. Sometimes I've only had 1 day of being gluten-free, which did nothing. Other times I had 3 days of being gluten-free, which then turned into 5 or 6 because my period was late, which would lead to practically no pain. Then, just this last Christmas, my period was 12 days late, and with my 5 days I usually schedule in to be gluten-free, I ended up being gluten-free for 17 days before my period came, and I actually had 0 pain. I was in shock. I didn't need a hot water bottle or a slow, calm day. I wasn't throwing up, nothing. I was bleeding, but had no painful side effects. It was the first ever pain-free period for me. It was a miracle. Okay, let's get into the episode.
Back in 2022, when I was really, really struggling with my period, I hated getting my period. I hated everything about it. I wanted to have a hysterectomy every time my period came. And then I came across this podcast. And the name was intriguing, but also the cover, which is a uterus. And I think the most intriguing thing was 28 days later, because it's not period in your face, but most people that have periods are probably going to be able to know quite quickly what it is about. And I was like, this is interesting, you know what, why don't I educate myself a little bit about it? Because maybe I can then also find out what it's like to have your uterus removed, all of those type of questions.
Mm-hmm.
I can just, it's a start of
Maybe there's
some
help.
research.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what did you come across?
It works as each episode follows the day of that cycle. Mm-hmm. So episode 1 is day 1, and it tells you all kind of the hormonal changes that will happen in that day and the stuff your body will go through on that day. And then, for example, on day 14, it will talk about the ovulation, and on day X, further along, day 21, it will start talking about the luteal phase and what hormones is it. Estrogen that is rejected. Can't think of the word, but released. That's the word I was looking for. Or is it progesterone? What are the levels? But then it also talks about different people's experience. Within that, each episode kind of has its own topic, and it will talk about a woman's experience with having her uterus removed, and it kind of, she had a really painful period, and that's kind of given her that second life, and she hasn't had to worry about the really heavy flow that leaks during work, and the really painful that she couldn't even go to work. So and then it also talks about, it kind of interviews different people that do research in the field, that also in terms of period and sport, when is it recommended, when is it not recommended. Also talks about kind of full moon bathing, kind of the whole topic.
Full moon bathing?
You go swimming on the full moon.
And that...
It's what some women do.
And that helps the period?
It doesn't. I think it's just
okay.
about feeling connected
Ah,
to
okay.
the cycle.
It's maybe
and the
more of a
moon
spiritual
and-
than like
yeah. So it has
okay.
very medical, but it also has
Okay.
spiritual. And I mean, through this podcast, I became a big fan of India Raxon.
Who's the presenter,
host.
Okay.
Yeah. And
has she done something else?
She actually did the Witches podcast.
Oh, the Witch podcast that we used for our Witch episode.
Yeah. And then she also has
her.
one. She currently has one about babies. She also she's done a lot of them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But really, she works with the BBC and she's done some really cool.
Nice.
You should all check her out.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And you feel like it's helped?
I think it was the beginning of kind of working and looking at the period in a different view, not as a painful, I hate.
Yeah.
It disgusts me, kind of starting to reclaim the process.
Nice.
I mean, I still, every month when I forget to be gluten-free and I get such bad pains, I will swear and I will tell myself I'm getting my uterus removed tomorrow. But
we're not there yet.
No, we've found other tricks, hacks and tricks.
So with going gluten-free, right? Do you feel like you have more control over your period compared to before, or like you hate it less?
I think I on months where I haven't been really strict myself 7 to 10 days before my period comes, I can't blame anyone else anymore for the pain. I can't, it's on me. Like
You're having to take responsibility.
Yeah. I can't get upset with my mum for, I mean, when I'm in pain and, it's always obviously my mum's fault. Sorry, mum. For all of that. But I think that's really what's changed in the last probably 3 years, and that journey of figuring it out is that actually I know what can reduce the pain, and it doesn't get rid of the pain. I still, but I think
drastically reduced.
Yeah, I think you've also experienced it where we've had podcast meetings or we've had recording days, and I've had my period, and I can hold the conversation.
Yes.
When I haven't been gluten-free and I have my, I mean, you can't say regular pain because that's not what I have anymore. But when I haven't gone gluten-free and I have
really, really bad pains.
Really bad, I can't hold a conversation. I lose my train of thought. I'm vomiting. I'm throwing up. Look, that's the same thing. I'm throwing up. I'm kind of glued to my bed.
Yeah, and
but
you're
I
not
can't
able
sleep.
to have a conversation with me. Not at all. And we definitely cannot record.
Yeah, and I think the painkillers has also just gone to a point where they just don't work for me anymore because I was taking such high doses. Doses, exactly.
Are you still scared of you having your period or it coming around?
If I, for example, I have something that's going on, or I have a big meal with the in-laws and I haven't...
Oh, there's like an event.
Yeah, and I end up not eating gluten-free, or I only do 3-4 days. I get worried. And I'm always like, just be a couple more days late. Let me catch it up. It'll be late. I start manifesting that it's late just to reduce the pain.
Yeah.
But then
you're
again,
not, worried about getting it nowadays. It's more in connection with being gluten-free. It's not so much about having your period or bleeding or anything like that.
For me now, it's part of life. It's still not my favorite time.
Yeah.
But I have my hot water bottle. I have my TENS technology device, which also sometimes I completely forget.
Well, actually, that was going to be my next question. I know that gluten-free really works for you, but does it make a huge difference? Are there any other things? You mentioned the TENS technology, the hot water bottle, but you have those 3 things and you're kind of good to go? Yeah,
I mean, I do try and kind of have a bit more of a calmer day.
Yeah.
I've obviously had the privilege that I don't have a 9-to-5 job at the moment.
Yeah.
So on the days where I do get my period, I can be like, okay, I'm going to have it a bit more easy.
Yeah.
But even back when I was working in the bar, I had days where I was just I was, not well, going back and forth to the toilet because I felt so sick. And my boss would just kind of
Go, well, deal.
go deal, but also like, I mean, not even like there's nothing that could be done about it. So I just kind of.
I have to disagree. In Spain, have you heard this?
No.
In Spain, every company or everyone you work or whoever you work for has to give you at least, I think it's 2, maybe even 3 days a month paid for your period.
But you work from home or?
No.
Can we move to Spain?
I know, right? It's a law now. I need to look into this, but it's a thing where they will let you stay home if you have your period.
I think I'm moving to Spain.
I know, right? It should really, they should do that everywhere because you need that one calm day. I feel it too. You just need that one calm day to really kind of because there's so much happening in your body, especially in those first 2 days of your period.
And I actually also have another secret weapon.
Secret? Oh, what's your secret weapon?
The sugar pills my homeopath gave me.
In like terms of pain management or in terms
I don't
of
know.
PMS or?
This is for pain management.
Okay.
So she...
And you're taking those regularly?
I only take them on... The funny thing is with my period, I will only have pain on the first 24 hours, 12 to 24 hours.
Right.
So in terms of other people having other people's period, I know it's so much worse out there, but those 12 to 24 hours are excruciating and I can't do anything. I've mentioned it before, the kind of state I go into. So I forgot my train of thought, but
the sugar pills.
Yeah, so they basically...
When do you take them?
I take them when, again, and I sometimes do forget, and then after my period I'm like, oh, I should have taken them, I was in so much pain. But I think I have to take them 3 times a day.
In those 24 hours, basically.
So I
like
actually
in that first day.
I only take it when I have the pain. And
you do feel like it makes a difference?
Yeah. I mean, then again, homeopathy is, if you believe it. Homeopathy.
Homeopathy?
We've had this conversation already. I think it is homeopathy.
I think I'm thinking of it in the German way.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so that helps as well.
Yeah. But again, if someone out there has a homeopath, feel free to talk to them. I'm sure they might have something, maybe not. But that, again, is a very personal thing that has helped. But for me, I definitely recommend the TENS technology device, hot water bottle, and trying to have as calm of a day as possible.
What about your PMS? Is that like something that's also like really gotten in the way, or is that something that's kind of normal-ish, or?
I think the older I've gotten, the in a way worse my PMS has gotten, or the more I can feel and relate to it.
Okay, in what way?
I feel my mood in week 3 of my cycle.
Okay.
I feel my mood get very kind of grumpy and low, and my boyfriend does everything wrong, and I can feel it. I'm just a bit more down and low, and whereas when I was a teenager, I feel like I didn't have that as much.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I feel my mood definitely gets a bit more.
Has that changed with going gluten-free? Is that something that's also changed, or is the gluten-free really just for the pain management?
I mean, right now the gluten-free is just for the pain management, and
okay.
I haven't yet made the connection if it
changes.
But it's actually interesting. I should, because obviously that mood change. The thing is, sometimes my mood change starts going a bit down after ovulation, so week in the day
not
17,
right
18.
Period. Okay.
Yeah, but sometimes my mood only starts going bad around Again, my period is irregular, so it's hard to always pinpoint.
Which day, what happens.
Yeah, I should probably crazy log my period on an app, and then I would be able to tell you.
Do you not?
I do, obviously, when my period comes, but I don't log my mood every day.
Fair.
Do you do that?
No. I tried. I really tried, and I tried different apps, but
I forget, yeah.
I forget too, and then I don't know, and then I don't know if it has to do with just I had a bad day.
Yeah.
Or if it's actually my hormones. I never know. So I've never really done it. I know I definitely drop in mood before my period. I feel like it's gotten a little better over the last maybe half year. But
do you know why it could have gotten better?
I think mostly because I don't have a 9 to 5. When I do feel really low in mood, I will stay home and like not really do much. I am able to not have to do much, right? Like I don't push myself beyond anything. But no, I mean, it's also up and down. One month it's like I'm crying about everything and anything. Next month I don't notice any difference.
No.
So it's very bizarre in that sense as well. Okay, so that's PMS. But can you tell me more about the diagnosis and the PCOS? Well, that is the diagnosis. Do you, like, what does it stand for? Do you kind of know anything about it?
Okay, so PCOS stands for polycystic ovary syndrome.
Yeah.
And it basically means that there's a cluster of cysts that grow around your ovaries.
On your ovaries?
Yeah, on. It's more on.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't studied it. I've only seen my own, which, yeah, I mean, I said it before in the story. They just looked very kind of holy and cysty. Not very.
It looks like there's holes in the uterus, but that's not on the ovaries.
On the ovary, I can try. We can maybe upload.
If you want to.
I can take a screenshot.
But that's what it is. PCOS is cysts on your ovaries.
Yeah.
That don't go away, and there's multiple. Because I had a cyst.
Yeah.
A couple months ago, and it was like 3-4 centimeters on one of my ovaries, and my gyno was like, "You have to come back in 3 weeks." And I came back 3 weeks later, and we did another ultrasound, and it was gone. So like they come and go, which is kind of normal-ish, but what you have is they are constantly there. They're not really going away, and there's a lot of them. It's not just one.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, definitely. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't had
a second scan.
Yeah, so I don't exactly know. But in terms of, I've had a couple blood tests since I've had the scan, and it's always been reconfirmed that that it is PCOS, because also they always test on a specific day of your cycle, and then they can tell with the hormones that are there.
Interesting. Does this have anything to do with endometriosis? Is there a connection there?
Or
is there a difference?
The only connection is that it's it happens in the uterus.
Okay.
Both of them.
But they're different from each other.
No, they're very different. Endometriosis is a lot more painful.
Okay.
Both of them, I think, again, I'm not 100% sure, but I think both of them can make it trickier to become pregnant, but they're different, not diseases, but different
things. Like they're not
different,
not similar.
Yes, syndromes.
Yeah.
I don't know if endometriosis is a syndrome, but they're different.
Okay.
So
do you want to tell us a little bit?
So endometriosis is when the uterine lining starts growing outside of the uterus. Mm-hmm. And you know what happens with the uterus, like the uterus lining, once a month, it completely sheds.
And that's when we have our period.
Yeah. And obviously in the uterus, there is an exit, there is a way out.
Yes.
The blood happens, but there's pieces of the uterine lining inside the blood, and that all gets flushed out. It's just so microscopic, you don't see it.
Yeah.
But obviously, if the uterine lining starts growing in other areas of the body, then the blood doesn't have anywhere to go.
Right.
So
it doesn't get flushed out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It means it gets trapped, and causes inflammation and adhesions, and also can cause cysts, which I read the other day.
Okay. But it's mostly the blood or the uterine lining that can't go anywhere.
Yeah, and I think it's just the whole area. I mean, if you already have pain for periods and pain in the uterus, then imagine if this lining is also trying to shed in other places, and it's just endometriosis is very, very, very painful.
Okay.
And there are operations and stuff for it now, but again, I'm not 100% sure on the facts because I don't actually have it. But if this is something that worries you, you should go talk to your gynecologist about it. There are tests and scans they can do to diagnose all of this.
Nice. Are there, so obviously there's symptoms for both. Do you check the boxes for, because I know you said that you don't actually check all the boxes for the PCOS symptoms, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is also why I've also always been confused by my diagnosis, because I have irregular and somewhat light periods.
Yeah.
I have obviously the cysts on my ovaries. I have a bit of acne, although that I feel like most of the time is hormonal. So
Right.
just before my period, I get them. I don't have acne all the time.
Yeah.
Unless I eat a lot of sugar. So maybe
Yeah,
if
but
I
everyone does, I feel.
Anyway, we could spend hours,
Yeah.
you know.
But you have some of that.
Yeah. But then most of the symptoms, or half the symptoms, I really don't have.
Right.
So
Like,
extra body hair, but
Right.
then also baldness on your head,
Yeah.
weight gain, those type of symptoms I don't have.
okay.
Especially, you get kind of moustache growing, thick arm hair growing,
Right.
because your body releases less, I think it's progesterone
Yeah,
or
and I think
estrogen,
more
and
testosterone.
more testosterone. You start kind of developing, or can start, and I don't have any of that.
Yeah.
I mean, do I have a white moustache?
Not really. No. I wouldn't say so.
So I don't have that, but I have really, really, really bad pain,
Which
period pain,
is not actually...
which is not part of the main kind of regular normal symptoms of
For
PCOS,
Okay.
but
That's
for endometriosis. And when I had the scan, everyone said, no, there's no way there's no visible sign of endometriosis
Okay.
in your cervical scan.
Okay.
So
Do you have any other endo symptoms?
Apart from the pain, not
Not really,
no.
Yeah. Or like irregular periods, but yeah, that's also PCOS a symptom. Okay. Are you doing anything about the PCOS, or like, is there anything that you can do? Do you know of any?
I mean, right now, I think for me it's pain management.
Okay.
Whether the pain is coming from the PCOS or just because I have painful periods, or if it's extremely undiagnosed endometriosis, there is nothing really. I think if I want to have a child, that's probably the time I need to go see a doctor and probably have a bit more fertility checks, because I think that's when it could start getting difficult. But from my day-to-day life, I mean, doctors, every doctor I've always talked to, their options are painkillers, the pill, that's it.
Right. And you're like,
And
no.
I've done the painkiller route. It really didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I started becoming immune. I was on paracetamol and
heavy drugs.
morphine mixed with caffeine, actually. They were great.
And then we would go out drinking. So
My mother listens. I don't think I went.
Not often.
Did I ever go out? Anyway, let's not talk about that.
I have some stories. Go call me if you want to know. No,
And
not a lot though.
the pill, I think I've always struggled because of the hormonal changes I was worried about, and the body's dysmorphia comes out. I was scared I was going to... It was just too much scary stuff.
The pill isn't necessarily an option, I think.
For me to take. But I also know that for a lot of girls with painful periods, it can be really beneficial, because also you can skip your period.
Well, that's the issue though, I think, because I mean, there's a reason. I personally believe there's a reason we have our periods. There's a reason we shed every month. There's a reason that we need to have that calm day every month, because that's how we work. We don't work like men. We don't work on a 24-hour cycle, and there's a reason that our body does what it does, right? The same reason why the sun comes up every day and goes back down again, right? And there's a reason that we have seasons and there's fall and winter and spring, and like, you know, it's nature cycles. And I think skipping that and completely intervening that with drugs that make you stop having that, I don't think that's a solution. I understand why people do it. I understand that being in so much pain is motivating enough not to have a period at all. But I don't think it's a solution. I think doctors should look at different solutions and look at why do we even have those pains to begin with. It's not normal that all of us girls in our generation have painful periods. It's just not. And the fact that you're a perfect example of it. The fact that you were like on all these drugs and like you were trying to do anything and everything, and at the end of the day, the simple thing of going gluten-free for a couple days before your period changed worlds for you. It's crazy. And the fact that like science is throwing drugs at you and like stopping you from having your period, it's not a solution to me.
I do agree, but I think you
should
need
use a case study. That's what they should do.
I mean, every time I say it to them, they are so surprised.
Yeah.
Even but
there's no one
French
like checking this out.
The French, it was really funny. The French gynecologist, she was like, "Oh, are you sure you don't want me to prescribe you the pill?"
Yeah. It's crazy. And I feel like they're pushing it. Yeah. You know? There's a point where it's like, you don't push it, you know? Do the case studies, all the different things and figure out different ways.
But I think also some girls just have so much pain, and if that's what works for them. And I know that when the doctor offered me to give me the pill, she was like, you try the pill for 3 months and then we need to do another test to see.
My mom was on the pill for a week. She had such horrible hormonal things happening that she was off it within a week. And it's the reason I never went on it.
But I think it depends on different women. On some genes, girls have also been on it for years and they have, you know, it's
nothing.
Like it really depends. But I know that for me, I was just always, the body dysmorphia kicked in, and I was too scared that it would change my.
But there's options, and the fact that these options are not being explored, like the gluten-free option, I think it's horrible. And it should be, before you throw all these drugs at all these young women.
But that's also where it comes to the individual. And I think that's also why it's nice that we're doing this podcast or this episode topic, is because this is another way of doing it. And it took me, you know, years of my mum saying, maybe you should think about trying this gluten-free thing. And I tried it for 3 days and it didn't work. And I tried it for this. And the only time I realized that it worked was because my period was 15 days late. Mm-hmm. And I had to stay gluten-free for 15 days because every single day
you could have gotten
my period. And then suddenly I was pain-free.
Yeah. I know. I keep telling you should be gluten-free all the time. But...
I know, but I live in France and think about all the pastries. But I do, for example, for your birthday, I knew we were going to a really nice Italian restaurant and I was borderline. So I was like, I'm going to be gluten-free before. I'm going to have kind of the one meal and the brunch where there's really, really nice gluten-y food.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go back to it.
Yeah.
So I started kind of when I might have a cheat day here, but then also I would have loved to have that when we were at the other restaurant with your mum yesterday. I would have loved, and I checked when my period, I was like, that's way too close, I'm not risking it.
Yeah, and I think that's
I think you start finding your own rhythm. But yeah, I think the longer you are gluten-free, but the interesting thing is for you, you don't really see the difference, do you, when you try and go gluten-free?
No, I don't.
So
No,
I
it's
think
not
it
a thing
really...
for me. I also don't have crazy period pains. If I do, it's on day one. If I get really unlucky, they can be very bad. But the thing is, I'm fine with painkillers. So like that one day, once every 3 months where it's really, really bad, I'll take a painkiller. Maybe two. And it works. Right? I don't have that tolerance against painkillers like you do.
I think it just
so I'm
built
lucky
up over,
in that way.
It's just got worse and worse, and it built up and built up.
Yeah.
Because I think my little sister... Anyway. But yeah, I think if this is something that, you know, you want to try, I think definitely try a week to 10 days before the start of your period. And...
Go gluten-free.
Yeah, sorry. Go gluten-free 10 days to a week before your period. Just try it out. See if it does a difference.
Don't do it for just 1 month.
No, try it a couple. Yeah, it did take me a while.
Do it at least 3 to 4 months, and then you actually start seeing the difference.
Yeah.
If you do start seeing a difference.
Yeah.
But give it more than just one period cycle.
Yeah. And there's so many more gluten-free options out there now than...
So many. Even Pringles.
Well, they're not by Pringles, but yeah.
They're not, no, but there's even like gluten-free versions of it, and like lots of good gluten-free bread out there.
Yeah. So it used to be really painful for me, but another thing, it doesn't completely get rid of the pain for me either, but it reduces it to a point where I am able to function.
Yeah, and you're not bedridden.
Yeah, which...
So we're not promising you a completely pain-free situation, but we are promising one where it's manageable and you can go through your day, and then you have the device as well that also helps you go through the day if it does come up a bit, right?
No.
And anyway, your first 1-2 days of your period, you shouldn't really be doing much anyway, ideally, if you're lucky enough, or if you live in Spain and you get time off work.
We should check that out. Let's call some of our Spanish friends.
It is quite cool.
Because that would be a reason for me to move to Spain.
Thank you for sharing your story with us.
My pleasure. Thank you
for being open about it and telling us about it.
Thank you for listening. It was a pleasure. And yeah, if this resonates with any of you, try it. Let us know. Leave us a comment. And look forward to being back soon.
Lots of love.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.